Welcome to the Birth and Baby Business Show. My name is Anna LaGrange and I'm a paediatric nurse, lactation consultant, mindfulness teacher and psychologist.
My name is Liz Stanford and I've been working in the birth and baby world for over a decade. I'm owner of the Calm Birth School, I'm a hypnobirthing instructor, a hypnobirthing trainer, author and mindset coach. This season, we're diving into your most asked questions about everything from social media to sales, mindset to messaging. If you've been wondering it, chances are someone else has too. So let's get into it. Your most asked questions about sales without the ick. Hi, my name's Liz Stanford and I'm one half of Baba Business, the Birth and Baby Business Academy.
Hello, I am Anna LaGrange, the other half of Baba Business. So we've got more sales questions and I've got one here. The question is, how do I make sales calls feel more like conversations and less like pressure? And I suppose we could stretch this out as well, because I know not everyone listening is going to make calls. They'll also be perhaps having conversations in email and DMs. Perhaps they'll have taster sessions and they'll be having to have sales conversations then. So it doesn't really matter how you're having your sales conversations. I know that people avoid it because they feel like, oh, I don't want to be some kind of sleazy salesperson. That's not why I came into this job. It's super awkward. So what are your top tips on this, Liz?
So first of all, stop seeing sales as icky, and the way that we can do that is to really think about the transformation that someone who is going to be accessing your service is going to experience. If you can focus on the transformation, then it just becomes about that rather than trying to put pressure on, thinking that you've got to put pressure on or you've got to use some sleazy like car salesman tactics. It's really just about being truthful about the impact that the service that you offer can have on them and have on their lives and their, parenting or birth experience. And it's as simple as that, really, for me.
Yeah, I personally don't think pressure comes with good sales. If you're now, there's what you perceive and there's what's actually happening. If you are actually having to put pressure on people to buy from you, then that's not good. And I hope none of you are doing that. So we don't want to be putting pressure on people. That does feel icky. That does feel like, why should we don't want people to come work with us and we've had to twist their arm to come and work with us. That doesn't feel like a good energy at all. So that's what I'd say. But I think what happens a lot is people have this perception, like you were saying, that they have to kind of ratchet up the pressure, because perhaps that's the experience we've had. Perhaps we've, you mentioned the used car salesman, maybe that's the pressure, or cold calling, or the different things that we've had. Maybe that does feel pressurized to us. And I've certainly seen a lot of kind of pressure type sales. But I think especially in our world, like we're working with people at a very vulnerable time of their lives, and a very special time of their lives. And what's more important than, trying to persuade anyone or anything like that is to really get good at communicating what it is you offer and how it's going to help them. So then they can decide, is this something I want to do or is it not? And you know what? If it's not, that's okay. Like, that's nothing about you or your business. It's just about it's not the right fit for them. And I always think, you often need a lot of no's before you get a yes, or some no's before you get a yes anyway. No's are all part of it. So don't be scared of people saying no, or don't take it personally, because we all say no to things all the time. And just sometimes I think, go back and think about the last thing you bought or the last time you were sort of sold to. Like, either it is the right thing or it isn't. Our job as people who are selling something is to just be really good at communicating and helping them figure out, is this for you or is it not? And you can kind of be part of that as well through making it a conversational thing.
Yeah, definitely. And it's also about really believing in what it is that you're providing and believing as well, because that really comes across in sales conversations, and believing in the value of what it is that you're offering. So that includes the price tags that you've put on it. So if you're sort of like, oh yeah, when it gets to the bit where they're like, oh, so how much does it cost, or what's the investment, that, and you go, oh well, it's so yeah, it's this much, and then you kind of just hide. It's got to be from a total energy. It's got to be, oh, so the investment is, and then you can tell them, like, you know, you get everything that we've talked about for that investment, and or for that cost or price, whatever word you feel more comfortable using, and just really own it. Just be like, you know, that is, you know, that is the
how much
value.
you have to pay to work with me. You
yeah
know?
Exactly.
That seems like a great time to pause the episode and tell you all about Baba Live London. Coming up on Friday the 10th of October, we are bringing Baba Live to the south of England. Become the CEO of your birth or baby business in just one day. Elevate your mindset and finally start making the money and the impact that you want without feeling lost, overwhelmed, or that everyone else is doing better than you. Even if you only have a few working hours a week, even if you have children to care for at home, even if this is just a side hustle, even if money is tight and you've been careful about every pound that you spent. We last ran Baba Live earlier on this year in Birmingham, and it was an absolute hit. You can go to the website grow.bababusiness.com/Baba-Live-London and read all about what other people thought of Baba Live back earlier in the year. And again, this time, we'll be helping you to get crystal clear on your vision. We'll be helping you to get more clients, and we'll be helping you to lock in your CEO mindset, all within a room of like-minded birth and baby business professionals. We can't wait to see you there. Tickets start from just £22 a month. So please do check it out, and we will see you in October. Back to the episode.
Okay. Yeah. So actually, I've got an example of this myself, which happened very recently, where somebody had been on, was interested in like what I offer, and they'd obviously been shopping around, and they'd been on one of these, you know, those kind of sites where you can go, I think, is it Udemy or Udemy?
Yeah, you get really super cheap courses.
Yeah. So I think they'd been on a site like that, and they said that they could get a course like mine for like a ridiculously fraction of the price. And I was just like, there's just no way. Like, what I offer is totally different to what's being offered here. And what I can give them is a completely different experience. I don't know what they're going to get with this course, which looked like it was about 5 hours long, maybe not even that. So it's about understanding your value, communicating your value, being sure of your worth, and making sure that they understand that, and then it's up to them to decide. You know, you stand in your values and you stand in your worth, and then they make the decision about whether that's in alignment with them. And sometimes it's not, and that's okay, and they can go off and do something the fraction of the price, or not do it, or whatever. It doesn't mean anything about you.
No.
And it's all just building relationships. That's all it is. Yeah. So building relationships, and then turning it into a sale. That's it.
Basically selling it and just working with somebody, just supporting somebody, supporting a new mum, a new dad, new whatever, the expectant family. And focus on that as well. Like, really kind of try not to focus on whether they're going to say yes or whether they're going to say no, because I think there's also this thing about the pressure on yourself. Try and just really focus on working with them and how great that would be. Like, for me, when I get on a sales call with somebody, I get so excited about what they tell me about what they're planning, what they're looking for. And, you know, I know that's why my sales calls generally do pretty well, is because it's like a chat. And then I'm so passionate about what I do. And I know everyone listening is passionate about what they do as well. So when you're passionate about what you do, it's actually quite easy. you just let your natural, we're good communicators, so you just let your natural excitement come through, just be your lovely self, and just almost sort of not forget about it, because you do need to obviously have steps where you're then making it easy for them to know what the next step is to make a sale. But enjoy it, enjoy chatting to people, meeting to people, and take that pressure off yourself that it means something if you do or you don't make a sale to this particular person, because the more you practice it, the easier it's going to get. And you might have recognized yourself in Liz going, mentioning the price and being like, saying like, you're going to have to go through that a few times to get confident in saying it. You're not going to be confident saying it the first time. It's something that you're going to have to practice. So the more you can have these sales conversations, the easier it's going to get.
Yeah, definitely. And like, do practice with people. Like, we've been to sales trainings, haven't we, where you do have to sit there and practice. And we when we were at Baba Live as well, when we did our live event, we got people to do that in the room. The more you do it, the comfortable you get at communicating it. Otherwise, you're just like, you get on the phone and it's one of the first times you've got to talk about it. Of course, it can feel a little bit tricky and you can get a little bit tongue-tied. So yeah, this definitely makes it better. So let's see, what's the next question about sales without the ick? Oh, I like this one. What's the best way to follow up without feeling annoying? Well, first of all, just stop thinking you're annoying. I think one of the best ways to reframe this is to understand that people are busy. So just because making this sale in your business is your top priority, it doesn't necessarily mean that booking onto your class or booking a slot with you is their ultimate top priority at that moment in time. They could have so many other things going on. And if they are pregnant or they're a new parent or, they've got small children, they're likely to have a lot going on and they're trying a lot. So all you're doing by following up is just reminding them, remember, you're really interested in this, and remember, not using these words, but just by getting in touch with them, you are kind of pinging that memory that this is something that
totally.
And we've just got to get over that uncomfortableness.
Yeah, I completely agree. I've got some really good examples of this. So I have something called Body Stress Release. I try to have it every month to 6 weeks. I don't book an next appointment because I don't know how I'm going to feel. But my body stress release person, she messages me after 3.5 weeks and says, "Oh, you're coming up for 4 weeks now. Do you want to book again?" I'll either say yes, or I'll be like, "I'm going to wait another 2 weeks. Let's book it in," or whatever. But I would probably wait till I got really bad, like till I was getting migraines or something, to message her. So she sort of knows she's got this nice little system where she just sends a message. It's not annoying. It's actually helpful. I really like it. And then yesterday, the person who comes and helps us in the garden, he came back. We hadn't seen him all winter. And we said, "How was your winter?" And it was quite sad, actually. He said, "I've had a really tough winter. I haven't really had any clients. It's been really difficult for me and my family." And I said to him, "Why don't you just send a little message every now and again?" Very sweet man, very humble man. I said, "Why don't you just send a message out to your clients from the summer? Just even just once a month, and just say, 'Do you need anything doing?'" And he's like, "Oh, I couldn't do that." So I did a little bit of coaching with him and said, "Oh no, people will love it, because I know that people have been saying, 'I need someone to help with the garden,' thinking you weren't available. So just a little text, it won't take long, and I think you'll have a much better winter next year." So it's like, don't be John, our gardener, don't sort of hide away and think people are going to be, don't be John, don't hide away in your sort of humble little way, because that's not good for your business, not good for you. Remind people that you're there, because not everybody's going to say, "Yes, I need your services," but even if one person does, then it's worth sending that message out. And it's really important to have a kind of a system for your follow-up, I think, where you do it on a regular basis.
Yeah, definitely. Just a little spreadsheet, so you can remember who you've been in contact with, who you've had sales calls with, or what level of contact you've had, and what was the last, how you left it last, that sort of thing, so that at a chance you can go, it jogs your memory, like, when I spoke to Caitlin, this is what she said last time.
Yes, exactly.
make it feel so much easier and more personable. So you can, maybe the last time you spoke to Caitlin, whoever it is, she said, oh, we're moving house, but I'm really interested. So then you maybe send her another message, you know, a week later, and you might say, oh, you know, hope the house move is going okay. Just wanted to remind you about this. My new term starts, blah, 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 or I've got 2 client slots left for whatever month. And it's just, you're creating that little bit of urgency, true urgency, not making it up urgency. And you're also being personable. So she's like, oh, she remembered that I'm moving house. So those making notes and, you know, again, just being a person rather than kind of got to be this car salesman and be really icky. You're just a person, and you know you've got something that can help this person. So yeah, following up, and you do it way more than you think you need to. So following someone at once and not getting a reply is not a follow-up system. You know, I always say 3 follow-ups as a minimum before you sort of start to jack it in. And that really depends on what's coming back from that person, you know, if anything at all. And sometimes it's not the right time for them, and they'll come back to you in a month or in months or whatever. So yeah, just try to get out of your head about that one, because follow-ups are really, really important. The amount of times we have said to our BABA members and our masterminders actually as well recently, when we were running a mastermind, was about follow-up, and the amount of success that people have with it's important. We're literally leaving money on
these are hot clients, so we you know, they're down what we call the funnel, where they start off as someone just being aware of you to interested to kind of booking, and they're really warm clients. They've taken usually more than 1 step, often 3 steps towards you to tell you that they want your service. So don't then make up a story in your head that they don't want it anymore. They've just got busy, or you know. So yeah, I totally agree. I think follow-up is a real magical, it's not even magical, it's common sense, but it feels magical because you think, oh, I don't really want to do that, but when you do it, people respond and book. So it's a great one.
Try it, please try it, people, definitely. So what's the last question? You got it there.
The last question is, how do I know if my sales skills, whether it's my sales skills or my offer, that is the problem? Well,
juicy.
So I think the word problem isn't that useful in the first place. I think there's 2 different things. There's sales skills are something that we've already, I'm not going to go over this again because we've already said you need to practice them. You need to practice. So yes, you may need to improve your sales. We can all improve our sales skills. I can improve my sales skills. Even Liz can improve her sales skills. She's very good at sales, but I'm sure there's still room for improvement. So there's always going to be room for improvement, and the more you practice, the easier it's going to get. So that's what I'd say about that. With your offer, you do need to check back in with your offer regularly to see if it is relevant to your client, to see if it is what, if you matched it to your ideal client, or did you just pick it out of the air, or you're just doing what your kind of, your school instructor told you to do. I think it is important to review and check in with your offers regularly to see if they're the right thing.
Yeah, no, definitely, because the world changes, society changes, what people want and what they need changes. That doesn't mean you need to go and train in something else. It might be that it be packaged up differently. So it could be that whatever it is that you're offering, instead of doing it in person, maybe it needs to be hybrid, or maybe you've always done it online and you need to maybe look at how could I bring this into my local community and make it an in-person offering. Like, have a look and we've done episodes before about market trends, etc. So have a look at things like that. Is your offer what people want and what people need right now? Is it being given to them or offered to them in the way that they want it to? And sometimes it's just a bit of a tweak in order to make it work for people. But forefront of your mind as well is these offers have got to work for you. There's no point.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, it's got to work for you. That's really important, because you'll have trouble selling something that doesn't work for you because you don't really want to sell it.
Well, not only that, don't think that what we mean by tweak is the price, because I know what people will be listening and they'll be thinking, oh, I'll just drop the price. That's not what we mean.
No.
It's usually not the price. It's usually either your messaging or the positioning or the way you're communicating it, or that it's not landing, or that you're not sharing it enough, rather than the price or the structure of the offer itself. This is a whole other episode, but basically, definitely review your offers and look at them regularly.
Absolutely. Right. Definitely. Well, I hope that was helpful, because I know that sales sometimes can be a real issue for some people, but you've just got to find the love for it somehow deep inside of you, because it is what makes your business, for sure. So yeah, we will leave it there this week, and we would love it if you would like, review, follow wherever you're watching or listening to this. It really helps us if you interact with either YouTube or the podcast provider that you're listening to this on, so we can push it out to more people. And we'll be back next week with another episode.
See you then. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Birth and Baby Business Show. If today's question sparked something for you, share it with a fellow birth or baby business owner, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. See you next time, and keep growing your beautiful business and doing your work the way you do it. It is so needed.